Matt, do you have some choice words for your club, Barcelona? Matt here
Ah,
is a Barcelona supporter. He's not happy with how things are running right now.
I can't wait for 2021, man. The only good news that have come from my club is the fact that, again, only good news coming out of Corona time is that Luis Suarez is going to be back. That is the only good thing that's happened so far. We're thinking about fucking off Arthur Melo for Pjanic for God knows whatever reason. If any of you can give me a legitimate reason as to why we need Pjanic right now, please let me know.
I
Liam,
think Pjanic
you
would be good.
I've
Mm,
got nothing for you, big
for
man.
what?
passing
He, he,
Arthur
he
sideways.
he's the type of player who can transition from both sides of the pitch, and he can also be a solid number six.
and and Arthur Cat.
I
I don't.
know.
Yeah,
I
I think
I
Barcelona's
think
midfield
Barca
is
just
not their
has those kind of
problem.
players. Yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure Barca have a solid number 6 with Frankie De Jong and Sergio Busquets.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
have
exactly.
a solid midfield as is. We shouldn't be getting rid of players, especially like Nelson Semedo,
Yeah,
for more players to clog up our midfield. There's no need.
Yeah, I read somewhere that you guys were interested in selling anyone except for Messi, Ter Stegen, and Frankie De Jong.
That's absurd.
to be fair, like I
Yeah.
mean, Pjanic would be kind of a weird signing considering he's 30 and
We
lasting
yeah.
don't
Barca.
need him.
You don't
No,
need aging legs. I think lasting
No, we already have enough that we got that in Pique. Messi, as we
Rakitic,
all hate to say, is getting older. Rakitic.
Busquets.
It's
Vidal.
Suarez.
Yeah,
like we have enough aging
yeah.
There's
players
a
as it is
lot.
right now.
So
And the only reason I can see it's happening is because our board absolutely has no clue what they're doing at all.
Is that because you think your
They've
board is
lost it.
desperate to just win La Liga,
I
or
don't, if they were
or do they just have no plans?
they don't really. It doesn't seem like they have a long term plan in the slightest.
There is the
We've
president
stopped
election
investing in,
happening soon.
yeah, in 2021. Like
Yeah,
we've gotten rid of what I think it's one of our youth prospects this year. One we where is he? We're sending him to Roma to
Oh
pick
yeah,
up
yeah.
Martin Braithwaite.
hmm
For what reason? And then we have our board taking hits out at the players, not even calling out players in specific, but just taking hits out at the players, including Eric Abidal, our president. And then we have to wait on Messi to come out and clear out the situation. Who's already
It's
on a term
sad how
deal where he
much
can leave whenever he wants.
it's sad how much Messi has to just fix Barcelona all the time, like on the field
He's the
and off
only
the
one.
field.
He's the only one holding that club together in and out in totality. He's the only one. Him and maybe Pique,
yeah,
and they're players.
And
Yeah.
they're
It's
both getting
unacceptable.
to the end of their career.
Exactly.
Yeah, what's gonna happen when they're gone?
I could see PK going into like a much bigger role once he
I,
retires, like an
I
ownership
see
role or
Pique
something.
becoming like a president at one point in
Yeah,
time.
and he could be a good one. He's got like a good mentality, but we never know.
He did. He's got a great business mentality. He's brought in our sponsor,
Yeah,
him, pretty much by himself. So
Do you ever worry about like PK like sometimes focuses more on like his off the field business and then sometimes it might distract him on the field?
personally, I like from my perspective, I think he might have a little bit too much on his plate. But this is also someone who's operated at the top level of whatever it is he's done in his life.
Mhm.
So I can't just put my perspective onto how he views things. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, 'cause in his life, you know, football is definitely a huge priority to him. But maybe it shows for him on the field.
Starting.
He's coasting a little bit right now. You know, he's not invested as much anymore on the field as he is on his ventures off the field.
Yeah, he's looking to build into his next life, which is
Mhm.
fine. But Barcelona's responsibility as a club is to speak to him about it, give him a different role in the club, and replace him with younger legs
yeah,
instead of going after players who are the same age as him in a position we don't need to have them in.
yeah. Because right now there's a lot of hope on Ansu Fati to be the next kind of Messi, the next big figure out of Barca.
Yeah, and given the way we're selling our youth products, I wouldn't be surprised if we sold him to Dortmund in Jadon Sancho's exodus. I wouldn't be surprised.
Could you imagine Ansu Fati developing a
I
Dortmund?
I can't imagine that actually, and I'm scared.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what's sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Do you see any similarities with Barca and kind of like when Man United had Ferguson leave? Like, let's say,
No,
like for example,
no, not that bad.
no. Like when Messi
I'm
leaves, you don't see the same kind of repercussions.
the thing is, Barcelona like with Alex Ferguson leaving, Alex Ferguson was just such a good coach. Whereas he brought, and this is all praise to Alex Ferguson, he brought the best out of players who were, for all intents and purposes, fairly
Not the best.
subpar.
No,
Yeah.
they were. Yeah, I mean,
So when Alex Ferguson left and couldn't inspire the best out of these players, Man United's form dipped to what their players should have been playing at, whereas Barcelona
But
have class all over the
not
pitch.
not only just in his coaching, but also on his scouting side of things. I mean, he was able to
Exactly.
find these
He had
gems out of
everything.
nowhere. He was involved in every aspect of Manchester United. The thing with your comparison with Messi leaving Barcelona, yes,
Just
he's
a
going to be
player.
a huge miss on the field, but off the field, you would hope they still have the scouting, still have the coaching. They should be all right.
The problem is like the coaching recently. Like they still been winning La Liga titles, but they haven't been. It seems like their demands are very high at Barcelona. It's like Champions League or bust
As they-
sometimes.
Okay, well, let me ask this
as they
question
should
to
be.
all. Let me ask this question to
Yeah,
all four
it's
of you guys.
Barcelona.
If you are Manchester City and you're the Man City board, how many more seasons do you give Pep Guardiola of him not winning the Champions League before you say, you know what, let's try someone else?
As many as he needs. Dude,
Are you?
you at this point in time with
They've won
Manchester
every
City,
other trophy except the Champions League. So if
with
Pep's
their
going
current situation,
4
though,
seasons, 5 seasons without the Champions League, do you go, hey, you know what? Let's cut our losses here. We spent £200 billion on players. Let's cut our
That's very
losses
true.
here. And maybe let's say 5 years from now, Messi's gone at Barcelona. Barcelona haven't won La Liga. They're not challenging for Champions League. It's time for a Pep return. It's time for a new rebranded
well, I'll take
Barcelona.
Pep. I will take
Well,
Pep back if they want to go with him.
In my head, that's a visible path kind of thing.
But with Pep,
But you
It'd
also
be
got to look at
awesome
it.
seeing, but
Pep doesn't
Who
like
can
Bartomeu,
Manchester
right?
City replace? No one does. But who can Manchester City replace Pep with?
yeah,
Like,
it's-
under
Pep's
Pep,
just-
it's been arguably their most successful they've been
yeah.
in general.
Julian Nagelsmann.
If he
I
leaves,
think there's
Yeah.
a few German
gotta
coaches
buy him
that
out.
they could replace
But I'm
Pep
talking
with,
in
but-
5 years. Okay, I was in my mind in 5 seasons. Let's say Pep does not win Champions League at Man City. Bartomeu is gone at Barcelona. Nagelsmann or whoever else is available. They've had their careers at their current
At Man
club.
City?
They've done what they can.
I mean, if
What?
Man City's like in the future for managers, I think one could be like Vincent Company.
that would be scenes.
never
I'm
know.
not sure if
You
he's
never
ready
know.
for that day. I'm not sure if he's ready yet, though. He's still young into the game. You got to give him a
Yeah.
couple more years.
I mean, you can say a lot about like current managers in the world.
Yeah.
Were they ready?
You
Like
can compare
Ole for
him
United, Arteta
Frank, yeah.
Arsenal, Flake at Bayern. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, not everyone's
Like,
gonna
five
Well,
years.
fine.
5 years is a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, you also never know when just a revolutionary manager can come up.
Yeah.
Lucas.
Nobody
Yeah.
expected Pep to be what Pep was when Pep took over Barcelona. So
Lucas, there you go.
No.
Zidane to City.
I could see that happening.
I could honestly as
Could.
well.
I could see that happening.
I don't know. I think it's more likely
Yeah.
seeing Zidane at France national team.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely to see Zidane becoming the Real Madrid president after everything's said and done.
Yeah.
I could see him taking that step, honestly, and being there for 20 years kind of thing.
You have to get elected and have money.
I know. Would you not elect Zidane as Real Madrid president, Lucas?
Yeah, very popular, that guy.
Yeah,
Like, he's one of their best ever players.
and
Also won a
managers.
couple World Cups.
I just want to ask Matt what he thought of Barcelona's performance in La Liga before the lockdown.
It's no. Like, I can understand where Setien's coming from, but at the same time, he's doing too much.
I can't
It's-
stand him.
It's too much. I get it. Yes, tiki-taka. Yes, Barcelona's beautiful flowing passing. But at some point in time during these games, we need to create more than 2 chances. There needs to be a
Especially
balance.
When you have
Especially if
the
you don't
most
have a-
technically gifted player in the world at the moment, and you're not using him to his abilities, it's just going to pass the ball around. It makes it difficult.
But also, you have to create more than 2 chances if you don't have the world's best center forward. Like, when Suarez got injured, you were dealing with Ansu Fati through the middle or Griezmann or whatever, but those are not the best center forwards in the world. So you need to create a bit more chances to get the goals.
Griezmann should be.
Griezmann should be,
Yeah.
but he hasn't been.
Again, it's his first season, though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
People
giving
often-
him some slack.
people, like, I get that he's still playing La Liga, but people often give players stick for this. They're coming, like, if I play at a very low level compared to these players, if I was to pick up bags and move my team to any other team in my league, there's an adjustment period with the other players, with how they want to play, which coincides with the way I was playing beforehand. Because Barcelona's style now is extremely different than how Atletico played.
Yeah,
And he's
100%,
also
yeah.
in a different role. So I think he deserves more than one season before getting judged.
100%. He
But
is a very good player.
definitely,
I think he gets
definitely our
too much
third best
criticism in
as
my
far as
opinion.
Yeah.
he does.
But
He
yeah,
just needs a haircut.